Today's quick reminder continues from John chapter 14, verse 6. Last week, we looked at Jesus saying that he is the way. Today, we look at him saying he is the truth. The whole verse reads this way. Jesus said to him, I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father but through me. Again, looking at Jesus being the truth. The word truth is found 126 times in the New Testament. And this particular word is used absolutely to denote a reality which is to be regarded as firm. And therefore it's solid, it's valid, it's binding. That's according to the Theological Dictionary of the New Testament. Jesus says, I am the truth. I am binding. Are you living in the truth of Jesus? Hebrews 13 verse 8 says, Jesus Christ is the same yesterday and today and forever. He does not change. All of this means that truth is an absolute. GotQuestions.org says it like this. To make the statement that there is no absolute truth is illogical. Yet today, many people are embracing a cultural relativism that denies any type of absolute truth. A good question to ask people who say there is no absolute truth is this. Are you absolutely sure of that? If they say yes, they have made an absolute statement which itself implies the existence of absolutes. They are saying that the very fact there is no absolute truth is the one and only absolute truth. So, how can we recognize truth? Well, the truth will always agree with Christ because he says, I am the truth. And if we agree with Christ, we agree with his Father. In John chapter 1 and verse 14, we read this, And the Word became flesh and dwelt among us, and we saw his glory, glory as of the only begotten from the Father, full of grace and truth. The word full means completely full. The truth will always agree with Christ because he is full, completely full of truth. Truth is realized through Jesus. In John 1:17 we read, For the law was given through Moses, grace and truth were realized through Jesus Christ. The truth of Jesus is to abide in the believer. In John 14:16 and 17 we read, I will ask the Father, and he will give you another helper that he may be with you forever. That is the Spirit of truth, whom the world cannot receive because it does not see him or know him, but you know him because he abides with you and will be in you. The truth of Jesus is to abide in the believer. Also, the truth is for you who belong to Jesus. John 17, verse 19, For their sakes I sanctify myself, that they themselves also may be sanctified in truth. So the truth is for you who belong to Jesus. And then we see that the truth of Jesus sets the believer free. John 8:32, And you will know the truth, and the truth will make you free. How is that possible? You know, that verse is one that's quoted so much in the world. How is it possible for us to know the truth that makes us free? Well, the previous verse, verse 31, says this. So Jesus was saying to those Jews who had believed him, If you continue in my word, or if you abide in my word, if you stay there with me, then you are truly disciples of mine, and you will know the truth, and the truth will make you free. The freedom that God has for us to know is found with Jesus, for he is truth. If we don't abide with Jesus, then the freedom that comes from truth is not possible. And we are left with the best that we can do, which Paul says in Romans 7 is nothing good. So the truth is not something, but someone. Jesus says, I am the truth. So in all this we see that if what you believe does not agree with Jesus, then it is not true. You're believing a lie. If you do not agree with what Jesus says about marriage being between a man and a woman in Matthew 19:5-6, then you are believing a lie. If you do not agree with what Jesus says in Matthew 19:7-8 regarding God not being okay with divorce, and you prefer to live according to the hardness of your heart, then you are believing a lie. If you do not agree with Jesus' example in how we should deal with prejudices toward others in John chapter 4, then you are believing a lie. If you do not agree with Jesus saying in Mark 10:17-22 that there is to be nothing else in our life that competes with him, and if there is, then we are to get rid of it, then you are believing a lie. The truth of Jesus is laid out in Scripture. And if you do not agree with him, then you are believing a lie. Jesus didn't say, I am a way. He said he is the way. Absolute. That's either absolutely true or it's an absolute lie. It can't be both. Truth leaves no room for alternatives. You say 2 + 2 = 4. Well, I say it's 5. Well, what I say doesn't change truth. God says in his word that Jesus is God. Islam says Jesus is just a prophet. Those two beliefs cannot be true at the same time. God has shown truth in his Son, Jesus Christ, and he invites you to know his truth. I once read, let's not confuse kindness with compromise. Love doesn't say whatever you believe is fine. Love says, come and see. Come and live. There may be many paths people take, but only one leads to life. And his name is Jesus. Only one is true. Are you living, identifying with the truth that is Jesus? My name is Kelly Daugherty, and I'm the host of the His Hill podcast. This has been a quick reminder of that ministry. Make sure to join us later this week for our regular episode, which is dropped every Thursday morning. If you'd like to get in touch with me, you can do so by email, and my address is Kelly, Kelly, @hishill.org. Thanks for listening, and remember, keep your eyes fixed on Jesus.